All right, there we go. So again, ladies and gentlemen, fellow members of the legal tech community, I just want to thank you all for joining us for the official Neota's APPy Hour. So on today's segment, I'll be joined by our guests, who I will introduce in a little bit, to essentially discuss, how they have overcome any obstacles or disruptions caused by COVID-19, what their thoughts are on how the legal landscape and/or industry may change, and then ultimately how embracing no-code solutions such as Neota Logic's platform may have aided the process of dealing with those obstacles and/or disruptions. So a little bit of background about myself. I am Dennis Rasmussen. I am a Director of Client Solutions and Engagement at Neota Logic. As you can see, I am currently working remotely from my virtual office, AKA my dining room table. But nevertheless, my job at Neota would be to ensure that you get the most out of your subscription. So when I say subscription, that would be to our actual platform. So Neota Logic at its core is a no-code, rapid deployment, click and drag platform that enables our clients and/or customers to build digital solutions. So typically those digital solutions are going to revolve around the automation of expertise knowledge, business and legal processes, workflows, and even the automation of documentation. So I had mentioned a little earlier that I would like to give a formal introduction to our guests today. So therefore, it is my pleasure to introduce to you, representing Dorsey & Whitney, an international law firm with over 500 lawyers located in 20 offices throughout the United States, Canada, Europe, and Asia, providing an integrated, proactive approach to their clients' legal and business needs in nearly all industries around the globe. 12-year consecutive winner of the Human Rights Campaign's annual Corporate Equality Index, ranked top 30 in pro bono for national and international firms, Client Solutions Consultant Mark Mongiat, and Director of Knowledge and Management and Innovation, Caroline Sweeney. But thank you again for joining us. So how are you guys doing on your end?
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is looking forward to having this conversation.
Absolutely. No, I mean, the pleasure's all on my end, and I appreciate it, more than I could even say or put into words. But, so with regards to how you're doing, how are you finding working remotely at the moment? I was going to say, I think I can tell you may not be in your offices. So how is, working remotely going so far?
Well, I'd say that, remote work really hasn't been that bad. In fact, I'd say for the firm, it's gone actually pretty smoothly. I do hear a lot of comments from folks about how people are feeling way more productive. I do think sometimes, though, there's a challenge for the way the days tend to blur together, and they do tend to go by quickly. But I have found the transition to not be all that bad, actually. I mean, I miss physically seeing people, but
Sure.
I'm certainly staying connected via Zoom, I think, like the rest of the country.
Absolutely. And
Mark has it a little nicer. He's up at his cabin right now.
Right? It looks nice there, Mark.
A change of environment, I think, helps your mental health for sure.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So I don't know if you've noticed, even with logging into Zoom, where the IDs or the participant IDs used to be 1 or 2 characters, but now they're like 6 or 7 long. So I think everybody's working remotely and utilizing Zoom. So it's good for all the different departments, and I'm certainly, of course, Zoom. But how is your department and/or company adapting to this current COVID-19 situation? So I know you guys are all working remotely. Is it the company as a whole, or all of your colleagues as well?
Yeah, it's definitely the company as a whole. And I would say that the organization has really been looking at ways to maintain the camaraderie throughout the firm, whether it's through, virtual happy hours or other virtual meetings, kind of trying to keep business going as usual. We've developed not through our group, but the firm has developed an internal social media site, the Dorsey Doorstep, to kind of promote that social interaction. We've seen a lot, as we talked about, quite a bit of adoption of Zoom. In fact, we rolled out a Zoom upgrade during the month of April while most folks were working from home. We've seen some adoption of like Jabber, which is our instant messaging and presence indicator. So all of that's been good. I'll let Mark talk about our innovation team and what we're doing and with respect to that, what he's seeing or what we're seeing there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I was on a call today with an attorney actually, and I think the attorneys at the firm are always looking for ways to build better relationships and newer relationships with existing clients and also new clients. And so they're looking to us and our team, Caroline and me, looking at the new technologies that we've brought in to try to find ways to stay sticky with their clients, to stay in front of them, and come up with some new ideas. So that's what I'm seeing.
Absolutely. I mean, it all sounds, it's kind of exciting. And it's like there's a lot of words being thrown around during all this with regards to, legal innovation or digital transformation and change management, but it's almost all encompassed within the greater idea of the new norm. So what do you picture this new norm looking like within your industry? Do you think there will be some changes that are going to stick, for a year, 2, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it may be? Especially with regards, leveraging some of those digital technologies like AI or data analytics, automation. So what are your thoughts on the new norm?
Well, I think that actually some of this has brought about some welcome, maybe adoption of technology, or some welcoming new perspectives on how to look at how we can solve client problems and meet client needs. I definitely see a continuing evolution. I see over the next several years that, we'll continue to see more use cases, more adoption, more sophistication with respect to the use of AI, things like chat bots. I think we'll see more app development as we look at ways to solve client needs and provide solutions that are beyond, the traditional, what we would say maybe are the traditional law firm service
Mm-hmm.
offerings.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's really that ability to adapt, and embrace that change, if you will, that, you really have to overcome the situation that you're in and make the best of it with the solutions that are available to you. So, whether it's to create those efficiencies where they may not currently exist, to generate revenue, whatever the purpose of the applications may be. I do know that you have created quite a few in the past. You have a litigation readiness application. There has been a CCPA assessment tool, even contract intake processes. So are there any of those that I had missed or you want to elaborate it further? I know some of them for internal usage, but you also have some that are externally facing as well.
Yeah, sure. I can talk about a few of those. First of all, you mentioned the CCPA app, the California Consumer Privacy Act. We built that earlier early in the year, and we posted links off the Dorsey.com site. We saw a lot of people come in, take the assessment, take the screening tool, and we did find that a lot of our clients were coming to Dorsey.com, for example, and they would see this new banner and they would click on this to learn more about CCPA. So it was quite successful, and it was a fun thing to work on. You also mentioned litigation readiness apps. Worked on putting together into Neota a collection of the apps that were more used, maybe possibly in paper, and used by the attorneys and internal people on our team to go out and interview custodians, find out where their data is, how can we access it. All that is in terms of upcoming litigation, what kind of data, where is it stored, et cetera. So those kind of fell into the litigation readiness arena. We also worked on an immigration app. This was a good one because it came directly from a client during a face-to-face meeting. Client said, the typical question, what's the one thing that you do that you really hate doing? What do you do over and over again? And they said, well, we're always answering basic questions with people that we work with. Can I travel? Can I go here? What about my visa? Things like that. So we built a kind of a version 1 of an immigration app, and so that one turned out really good. And lastly, we integrated one of a Neota app into one of our collaboration portals with a client that we had, and we built 2 quizzes. Clicking on a collaboration portal, I want to take this quiz. There were 2 quizzes that we built. So that worked quite well too. The scores were tallied, and those were sent to the compliance officers on a monthly basis. So that's kind of a quick
Nice.
rundown on some of the things we worked on with Neota.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's clear that you're utilizing the platform to create multiple amounts of products and or processes as opposed to just an off-the-shelf product, if you will. And you kind of caused me to segue into a separate question here. And you had a great point where one of your apps had just been created based upon a meeting with a client, where you're kind of asking, what is that high reoccurring task, for lack of better words, that may be annoying and take up a lot of your time, but it is something that you can easily automate. So what does that process look like for when you decide to take on new projects?
Sure, we definitely have or we're in the process, I guess, of establishing and vetting our internal process. But we have Dorsey attorneys and staff, along with clients, from whom we solicit ideas. Internally, we have folks post their innovative ideas to an internal platform. Otherwise, we are reaching out to clients and talking to clients about their specific needs, and then taking those ideas and reviewing them with our innovation committee. And we've got certain criteria that we have established there that allows us to then say, okay, there are some specific ideas here, or these particular ideas are ones that we really want to pursue, and we want more information to figure out whether these are viable projects for us to take on. And we'll invite folks to come in and further present to our committee about their idea and what the benefits are, whether it's, creating business efficiencies, whether it's, as I've said, meeting a particular client need, or some other data analytics type of project. In the case of our job board that we're developing, meeting some diversity needs or responding to some diversity needs within the firm. So we hear what the idea presenter has to say, and then we kind of make this go, no go decision on whether or not to proceed. So I'd say generally within the firm, I'm kind of leading the charge to help get ideas, and then Mark is often leading the charge in making those ideas into an actual product or service offering.
Sounds good.
And then we're, going back to clients, going back to attorneys, and showing what we've got.
And Mark, that's where you would get to utilize the platform to rapidly deploy that prototype or iteration. And we've worked many times on the phone, and I miss our phone calls. So Caroline, you actually gave a little bit of a sneak peek there for one of the applications that I know you have coming out in the future. I don't want to give too much away about it, as I know it's an innovative tool, and it's something that you're looking very forward to. But is there anything you want to feel or give a little sneak peek or further information as to what that application will achieve? If not, no harm, no foul. The world will just have to tune in at a later date and utilize your services there.
Mark, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure, I'll give a quick rundown. The latest that we have is the job board, and this came out of the hackathon that we did last year. And the idea that we had was, how do you promote diversity and retention by providing the 1- and 2-year associates sort of an equal access to projects at the firm, so that they can develop their skill sets and help them stay on track to partnership, while also ensuring timely feedback. So we're working. So the process was, we met with consultants, we met with staff and attorneys to try to build out the requirements, and those went back and forth in terms of what the app needed to do and how to do it. And we're working with you right now and going through a process to have an MVP done early next month.
Perfect. Go ahead, Caroline.
Sorry, Dennis, I was just going to add too, there's one other app that we've actually been talking to you guys about, working with us on, and that involves integrating the ability to create or to draft a document and integrate that capability into another one of the platforms that we've been working on and offering to clients, again, as a client service offering around contract management.
Nice. Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to both of these. And you know, the description I gave in Neota earlier, you've hit the nail on the head with exactly utilizing the platform for what it's meant to do. You have your document automation, you have your workflow, you have your integrations with third-party vendors and or other platforms. So I know I'm excited to see the applications when they come out. So I can only imagine how you are, you know, internally and with your thoughts towards that. So I think, you know, I think probably wraps up everything on my end. You know, I'm always excited to talk to you guys. And is there anything else you would like to tell the world about regarding, you know, Dorsey?
No, not about Dorsey, but certainly thank you to Neota for the opportunity to speak today, but also for being a good partner with us on developing some of these creative solutions to meet our client needs. That's what this is all about, client service.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Caroline. That was well said. So, you know, as we mentioned earlier or on previous calls, in honor of true happy hours, you usually like to cheers or toast or you know, to cheers your fellow peers and colleagues. So again, I'm going to raise my glass. It is again that peach flavored green tea to both of you. So stay well, stay healthy, and as always, I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
Dennis.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good one. For further information regarding Neota, please visit our website at neotalogic.com or feel free to reach out to myself at Rasmussen at neotalogic.com via email. Thank you.